Okay. First things first, couldn't get the live stream going because they gotta wait 23 hours to schedule a live stream. So I'm gonna do the Ari Finetta one, but not one for the manga reading. So we're gonna just have to try another time for that one. But as for the chapter itself, I know everybody's got a lot to talk about and there's a lot to unpack in this chapter, but the one thing that has to be said and that we have to start questioning, or I should say rather two things, is Amado gonna be the reason that Konoha is destroyed? And what is his real plan? Because a guy with this amount of control is either being deceived into thinking he's doing this for his daughter, or much like everything that we've seen with Amado before, he's got an ulterior motive. So, let's get to it. This is your anime legacy, and like I said in the intro, I was gonna live stream this, but I got at least a 23-hour waiting period, so I'm going to do the Ari Finetta stream, but not this one. So we're just gonna try another time with Boruto. But as for the Boruto chapter itself, the main takeaway from this chapter is Amado's got to be stopped, because the level of control this man has over everything in the series is like, my God. It's like, I didn't put this video off for a while now, but I might have to actually do a deep dive into it and saying that Naruto is the worst Hokage ever, because let's be real, Naruto has not only left Konoha in the hands of people who don't necessarily have his best interest at heart, but even those people are being manipulated by somebody else. And we got all these Shinju and probably something else coming, because we don't know what Amado's real plan is. And there's no coordination, all because of, one girl and one dude, unleashing some kind of ability in omnipotence that they can't even control. I mean, again, like I said in my last video, the scariest thing about omnipotence is this was an accident. This wasn't on purpose. This was an accident. So God knows if Amado wants to control Ada, or found the way to control Ada, which at this point, but what we get into at the end of the chapter, we can't say that he can't do. We know what's gonna happen. Now, back on something I said in my Get Back for Boruto video. This all but confirms, because of Amado and all the threats that have been made, that we may or may not get something where Boruto has to go off and deal with Momoshiki with the way I would hope that he would deal with him, and bringing back the Uzumaki clan. Because the one thing we know about the Uzumaki clan is that they were experts at sealing jutsu. So that's what we need right now. We need a way for Boruto to use karma without having to worry about Momoshiki's essence controlling his body. Because as a reminder, Momoshiki is not Kurama. Momoshiki is not like Kurama. Kurama was a Pita case. It was like basically he was abused tail spirit, and all the tail beasts were abused and, you know, manipulated by humans. Yes, they had their own free will, and even now they don't really necessarily mess with mankind because of all the evils that was done to them. But generally speaking, they could be reasoned with. They could be rationalized. They could be, you know, once they got with the right owners, like i.e. Naruto and Kurama, they became better, you know, entities. You know, when you look at Momoshiki, you know, see your horror movie lineup, The Exorcist and Emily Rose and all those other movies where people get possessed by a dark spirit and, you know, it starts taking over their mind and their actions. Yeah, Momoshiki's like that. Momoshiki has his own will, his own desires, his own goals and ambitions. You know, he's not going to, you know, have a moment with Boruto with, like we had with Kurama, and if you watch Shippuden, like in the 320s, when, you know, we get the fist bump moment, and, you know, Naruto releases the cage and says, "Go Kurama." You know, we're not getting that. That's not going to happen with Momoshiki. Momoshiki is always going to be a problem. You know, speaking of problems, gotta tell you, you Cole fans, man, it's time to get rid of them stocks. It's over. It's over. That train done sailed way past time. Way past time to recollect your money on that one, son, or take it like a loss, like I had to do with this Zelda game, with this new Zelda game that I did. That's a whole nother situation. Whew. But anyway, you know, you gotta take that in. Cause, yeah, he's not gonna be anything. I mean, Jura just basically dog walked this dude. He just basically sat there, cut this man's hand off, and told him, like, I'm gonna make your life relevant, bro. I'm gonna make your life relevant. And like Naruto explained, said in his, you know, review, it's like, yeah, basically Cole sadly is living out what Matsuri said. And that Cole is always just gonna be a vessel for someone else to push their narrative. He's never gonna have any ambition of his own with all the power that he's been given, which is kind of a tragedy, but, you know, that's just what it is. And speaking of Matsuri, you know, we get a little bit into how the Shinju are made, and it's like, you know, NC Hammer, you know, 23 says, like, yeah, you know, she seems to be the one who chooses the Senshu, or maybe it's like if a Senshu takes interest of an aspect in you, because when Shinki sacrifices himself to save Gaara, putting Gaara in that magnet barrier, which is nice because it's still active because he's unconscious, which is impressive as hell. But she's impressed enough about his desire to protect others that she's like, I wonder if you'll make an interesting Shinju. Now, we don't necessarily see her create the Shinju, but we know she, from everything we've seen, that she took the soul thorn that came from Shinki and basically put it in the box, and when Ryuto came out, he pulled Cold out of the box. So yeah, again, Cold Stocks is off balance because yeah, this dude been in a box the whole time, or he tried to teleport into the box. I have no idea, but he was hiding somewhere in that box or around that box, because yeah, Ryuto found him, and like I said, you know, Jura cut that hand off and said, yeah, I'm gonna give relevance to your life, you know. And even scarier, when we look at the evolution of Jura, as others have said, Jura is actually contemplating now himself eating a chakra fruit. And in this awakened form, it will be very interesting to see, you know, what the Ten Tails may become, because in its normal form, the Ten Tails just becomes another divine tree and sucks the life out of everybody around when they eat a Otsutsuki. When they eat a Otsutsuki. But now, Jura can devour a Otsutsuki, and it's like, what will he become? Yo. Now, as for what I think will happen when it comes to Boruto, I do think maybe now that Kawaki and Boruto have had their heart-to-heart, that maybe for the time being the kill on sight order may be temporarily lifted. I doubt it, because Kawaki does say he wants to kill Boruto. We know that Kawaki's going to go confront Amado, and Amado is going to pretty much exert control over Kawaki, and I think that this will probably be Kawaki's, you know, moment of somewhat redemption, but also heel turn, because Amado, when Kawaki goes to him, is probably going to try to exert his control over Kawaki, and that's when we may get Kawaki's real plan. I mean, not Kawaki, excuse me, Amado's real plan, because Amado doesn't want Kawaki to die, but he knows he's got Kawaki on his back. So, as Naruto explained, said, yeah, Kashin Kojin is probably on death's door, or is about to either be forced to flip sides with Amado, because Amado is probably going to exert some kind of control over Kawaki and force him to go after Kashin Kojin instead of helping Boruto like he should. And this technically will give, you know, Amado control over the village. And this is going to be a very big thing for Ada, because, you know, it's probably going to be up to Ada, Sarada, and Sumire working together with Boruto to save Kawaki in the end. Because the worst possible outcome could come from Amado interfering with, you know, people's plans to make things come out in a more advantageous way for him. And don't think the man can't do it. I mean, this dude, again, as people like Naruto explained, said, this man was willing to play 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional chess with Ishiki and G. If you gonna play with people on God tier levels like that, don't think he ain't gonna try to turn this Shinju and all this whole situation with Kawaki to his favor. That's what he do. He is the lurking evil, and this is one of the things that people got to deal with villains in Boruto, in the sense that it's more open about the lurking evil behind something. Like omnipotence lurks in the background and influences people like Ino's decisions, because under omnipotence, she can't risk her family's honor and trust her friend you know, to, you know, help Boruto. And in this situation, as I said before, it's going to be imperative for what Boruto was told in Next Generations when it concerns Ada by Shikamaru. He's going to have to raise her up to take her away from Kawaki so he can save everybody. Because he needs her on his side, because Kawaki doesn't care. Like he said in this chapter, I'm not changing. I'm still going to kill you. I'm not above working with you for the greater good. But when this is over, I'm still going to kill you. So, we need Boruto alive because we don't know what Amado's real plan is. Amado's real plan ain't going to come through with this. Amado is not stupid. He's not going to implement anything right now. There's too many powerful pieces on the board. He gonna be one of them villains where it's like when everybody's off the board and everything is clear and you think everything is fine and everything is dandy, that's when it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm about to take over. That's how villains like Amado operate. Because they're about knowledge and intelligence, not, you know, just in your face, you know, hype, action. They strategize and think so they can make sure that their plans go the way they want. Now, I will say this, if his plan is to bring back Delta, the question we have to raise on that is, does Delta come back as a more controllable version of Cell, or does she become like Perfect Cell or Android 18 and 17, as Naruto explained, said, where, you know, Amado made her for one reason and she can't be controlled and she develops her own way of thinking and stuff like that, and it tends to be evil and she becomes a big bad in herself. We'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I think this is another solid chapter. I personally, just because of the whole how omnipotence was used to influence Ino's decision, I prefer the last chapter. But this is a great setup chapter going into the last chapter of Volume 4 of Two Blue Vortex. I think it's a very good setup chapter. You know, next year is going to be very interesting for Boruto. But, like I said, look forward to the Ari Finetta live stream on Tuesday. But as for this video, if you like anything you heard, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's it.